Adverse possession. A trespasser may acquire title to another property without compensation by possessing the property for a specific period in a manner conflicting with the true owner's rights. So the requirements are that the trespasser's possession of the land must be 1, continuous for the statutory period. So possession must be similar to an ordinary owner's use of the property. Daily possession is not required if an ordinary user would not use the property daily, so like a winter cabin. 2, open and notorious. So the trespasser's possession must be conspicuous such that a true owner would know of the trespass if he inspected his property regularly. The owner need not actually know of the trespasser's use. 3 is actual and exclusive, so the must possess a reasonable portion of the property to the exclusion of the owner and the public. 4, hostile, so possession must be without owner's permission, so no knowledge or intent requirement. Trespasser need not intend to adversely possess it. And in a leasehold, if a tenant stays in possession after a lease has expired, he is presumed to have permission. So the tenancy at sufferance arises as opposed to the beginning of an adverse possession period. Statute of limitations, disability. The statute of limitation does not begin to run if the true owner was under some disability when the adverse possession began. For future interest, the statute of limitation does not run against future interest holders until the interest becomes possessory. So restrictive covenants will not run with the land if the adverse possessor's use of the land violated the covenant, but covenant will run if the adverse possessor's use complied with the covenant. Color of title. A claim of title property not actually owned based on a written instrument such as a deed that is void. So adversely possessing part of a property under a color of title is sufficient to acquire title to the entire property. Government land cannot be acquired through adverse possession. Leasing. Adverse possessors can lease a portion of the land to a third party and still possess the property. Non-marketable title. Title taken by adverse possession is not marketable unless there has been an action to quiet title. Tacking. Adverse possessors can tack together successive periods of adverse possession to satisfy the statutory period, even if successive possession was by different adverse possessors. So it must be successive. There cannot be gaps between periods of adverse possession. Privity requires privity between successive adverse holders, satisfied if subsequent possessors take by descent, devise, or by deed purporting to convey title. Tacking is not permitted if one adverse claimant ousts the preceding claimant. Concurrent owners. So co-tenants may not adversely possess each other's interests unless ouster has occurred. So to adversely possess a co-tenant, the co-tenant must be excluded from the land for the statutory period. The statutory period begins once exclusion begins.